Here it is, the all-new Kia Carnival. Road trip! Alright, so Kia has organized a one-day trip to Ipoh for us media to test out the all-new Kia Carnival. We have 4 different publications in the car, so we're going to be taking turns to drive the car throughout the trip. For the first quarter of the trip to Ipoh, me and my friend Gokul here from Test Power, we're going to be checking out the rear seat, the comfort, the features, and so far I think it's been great, right?
Yeah, my eyes are already burning already.
Yeah, he's going to pass out soon already. I think I'm going to join him very shortly. What's the ride comfort like?
The seats are a bit firmer than what we expected.
Yeah.
Space-wise, no problem.
Yeah. We're both about the same height, about 180 centimeters, 170 plus centimeters. As you can tell, plenty of headroom to go. We've got aircon adjustments over there. I'm charging my GoPro batteries with the USB port behind the driver's seat. We've got sunshades. The middle seats of the second and third row can actually be tilted up this way, right? So as to give you this lorong to walk backwards. But I guess on long drives like that, if you need a tray, it works like that as well. Yep. So you can eat, you know, do whatever.
Play mahjong also can.
But if you don't need it that way, you can just fold it up, and then I guess it turns into an armrest. So we have just turned off the highway and we're gonna experience the car on some back roads. So on the highway earlier, for the most part, we were cruising at about 120, 130 kilometers an hour. And noise insulation was pretty good, the cabin was quite quiet, but I think more importantly, for a car like that, the suspension was really pliant. It was a bit on the firm side, but you don't feel jolted around, you know, when it goes through undulations, it jumps, it sits back down really nicely. I mean, the ride for me, I think I rated, what, 7 out of 10?
I would give it a 7 out of 5.
7 out of 5, okay. Yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. So yeah, I think it's perfectly, it's great. On that point, despite it being a diesel engine, while we were cruising earlier at 2000 RPM, 120 kilometers an hour, you pretty much don't hear the engine at all. Most of the noise is coming from the road. So in case you're wondering, guys, there will only be one interior color option, which is this beige black combination with a sort of light grey beige headlining, black dashboard. You get this metal strip across the dashboard with a texture that's somewhat like the C-pillar that we saw outside earlier. Check out this detail here. There's some diamond shapes. There's a texture on it. Wow. You've got controls here. Mess around with the guy. Yeah. Happily being bullied. Never seen someone like so happily being bullied, you know? Alright, we have a quick break at the moment at the petrol station. Just thought I'd show you 2 things up front here. So it's the first Kia in Malaysia to spot the new badge. As you can see, this new design here. And check out the signal lights on this. Wow, that's definitely going to stop some traffic and get some attention there. I think it's quite cool that they have the high beam lights integrated into the grille as well. It makes it look part of the grille. So these are your normal headlamps, these are for your high beam fog lights. Let's check out the back. Oh, the signal lights are at the bottom here. Not what I would personally prefer. I don't think it's that visible personally. I would have preferred it to be up here. Now I can't wait for the skies to perhaps get a little darker. Perhaps in the evening I will show you how it looks like with the whole light bar on. So it's now gonna be my turn to drive. Just pulled out of the petrol station from our driver change. What I realized is plenty of torque. You've got about over 400 Newton meters, so coming out of junctions, low speed, trying to overtake, I don't think you're going to have any problems. The transmission feels smooth, responsive, and even at lower speeds, when you try to pick up and go a little faster, the noise from the engine doesn't really indicate that it's a diesel engine. I was just looking at the side mirror because I wanted to overtake. I want to look at traffic behind and all that. You can't imagine how huge the side mirror is. Imagine holding a dictionary, putting it by the side. Yeah, that's the size of your side mirror. You can see everything.
You can see your future.
Yeah, you can see the future. Or you can see your past. Yeah, you can see your past like from a long time ago. Going for my first overtake in sports mode. Plenty of power, effortless. We're going through a series of bends at the moment at about 100 kilometers an hour. Still on the back roads. You do feel the car's weight. I think all 2 tons of it. But surprisingly, body roll is almost minimal. Little to none. And for a car this big, with so much weight, going through such bends, and I'm not talking about this from a sporty driving point of view, we're talking about like safety, you know, assurance behind the wheel. In that sense, I think this one offers plenty, despite its size, despite its weight. One more thing that my colleague Gokul pointed out is if the car feels big. And interestingly enough, it doesn't. It looks huge, trust me. It's like wider, it's longer than the previous Carnival. When you walk around it, it takes forever to circle the car. But when you're driving it on the road, I mean, it doesn't feel like the tailgate is really far back. I can see perfectly clearly, the 3/4 view is fine. In that sense, I think they got the design of the car right. Wouldn't you guys want to see a drag race between the Kia Carnival and the new Mazda BT50? Which diesel engine do you think is more powerful? The pickup or the Carnival? Let's tilt the camera slightly a little more. Oh.
I took some B-roll.
I think they're gonna entertain us, you know, on this little childish race. But probably only for about 100 meters, and then once we hit about 40 kilometers an hour, we'll probably slow down.
Please do not try this in your
in your hometown, in your small town. Oh! Oh! No way! The pickup is pulling ahead now, man. Wow. So pickup power lah, I suppose. And also, one thing to note, the BT50 has a 3-liter engine, I think.
Yeah,
right?
That's 3-liter, yeah.
This one is a 2.2 turbo diesel, yeah.
This one is white version.
But still, side by side, not bad. Alright, so we are at another petrol stop for another driver change. So for now, I thought I'd just show you this gear selector right here. It looks exactly like the one in the Jaguars, Range Rovers, except this doesn't like hide and pop up each time you start the car. By default, it's erected like that, and then to press P, you just press that button there. To go to R, you twist left, N, D, and so on. You got your auto hold buttons here, your drive mode selector to change to different drive modes. And then you have your parking sensor switch here to switch it on and switch it off. Different camera displays. Have a listen to the sound system, guys. Not bad, I must say. Sharp, crisp. The bass doesn't crack. Alright, I also want to show you this rear climate control setting here. Hit on it and the screen pops up like that, and you can actually adjust the temperature and the fan speed for the rear passengers. Press it again and then you get your controls for the front passengers. Since I'm sitting in the front here, I thought I'd show you a bit of the infotainment system. So far it's been really smooth, very responsive. This is how it looks like on the main menu. Apple CarPlay going on, Apple CarPlay map. And then here for the other settings, another rear aircon control switch there. That's pretty much it. We've reached Ipoh. Okay, so one last thing I want to show you before we get off the car, in the center console. So you get a USB port here for charging, this one here for your Apple CarPlay, another one for charging, and then you have a wireless charger, as you can see from this symbol here. And you also have a whole lot more at the back. In total, you have 7 USB ports in this car, and they're all strategically located for each and every passenger. You have one here, and then another one here, and then one by the side, and another one by the side. It's just all over the car. So in terms of a family car, I think every single requirement that you have, your family might have, in terms of technology support, I think you're quite sorted in this car. Look at this tauke here.
I feel I'm boss now.
With his legs folded up and still plenty of room. Okay, straighten out your legs. Try to fold again. See how difficult it is to fold? No problem whatsoever. So we have arrived at our lunch spot in Ipoh. As you can see, some of the cars are just arriving over there. Before we go and have our lunch, I thought I'd just show you a bit of the exterior, and we'll go through some of the features, what I think about the car. So you have this tiger face grille here. As I showed you earlier, the headlamps over there, and then the high beam integrated into the grille. You have fog lights at the bottom there, and you even have air curtains for air to come out. They're not fake. As for the 3/4 view of the car, I think it looks really proportionate. It looks a bit squarish, but not exactly boxy, not like the Alphards. I also like how that black line over there, the railing for the rear doors to slide, is actually integrated into the character line of the car. Little touches like that, really appreciate them. So Kia said this car was designed to look like an SUV instead of an MPV. And honestly, judging from how they look, I think they've achieved it. It looks like one of those big American SUVs, Chevy Suburbans, Cadillac Escalades, but a lot sleeker. Now let's check out the boot. I guess there's plenty of space, more than enough for whatever you need, even though you're carrying cargo for 6 passengers. If you want to lift the seats up, simply pull this strap here, and then you have an 11-seater. Push it down, and then it just folds flat like that. You have about 1,000 liters of space over here. Also, another thing that I just noticed, you see the difference in size between the 2nd row seats and the 3rd row seats? So yeah, the 3rd row seats are actually slightly narrower and smaller compared to the 2nd row seats. And of course, the 4th row should be even smaller. This is how the rear 3/4 view of the car looks like. As I've said before, really proportionate, very pleasing to the eye, and more importantly, it offers something different to other road users to admire, check out. All of us are quite sick of seeing those white vans driving around. This offers a different variation. It's just as capable. I think drives better, more powerful, more stable, and you get looks like this. Can you imagine having that face in your rearview mirror? And also, can you imagine if those wheels are black? How cool and sinister the Carnival will look. Let me show you how easy it is to get to the 3rd row. Not the 2nd row, the 3rd row. Okay, you got your stuff here. Needs to be lifted this way. Yeah, literally just pull it up. Get to the back. Move this seat forward. Go. Oh, I'm in the 3rd row. Still enough leg room there, as you can see, and plenty enough here. If you ask me, weirdly, I prefer the seats in the 3rd row. I think it's because of my slightly smaller frame, thin, narrow. These seats are actually a lot more snug than the 2nd row. That's odd. This is how it looks like with the 4th row seats erected. That's how much legroom you have, obviously dependent on how much space the 3rd row passenger is willing to give you. And that's also dependent on how much space the 2nd row passenger is willing to give the 3rd row passenger. So I think all in all, the 1st row, the 2nd row and the 3rd row will have more than sufficient space. However, if that happens, I think the 4th row will be slightly affected. But then again, how often do you think you'll use the 4th row? So the all-new Carnival is built on an all-new platform, so everything underneath is new. You got a much more rigid chassis, you got a lot more insulation underneath for a quieter cabin. Most of the undercarriage is completely covered, you know, for better aerodynamics. And as for the engine, you get a 2.2 litre turbo diesel engine with about 199 horsepower, 441 Newton meters of torque. The engine is paired to an 8-speed automatic to drive the front wheels. And that's all for now about the Kia Carnival. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this little trip to Ipoh in the Kia Carnival. I'll see you again very soon. Thank you for watching.